Hello, my name is Callista, and welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. In the last episode, Artin returned home. We came back to Orzammar, and we stand in the Hall of Heroes, which Artin is proudly looking out upon. Now, before we enter the Commons, we had a few codex entries that we had to read. There we go. Starting with the Paragons. Now, I would like to just apologize preemptively. I'm not feeling my best today, so I get the feeling I'm going to be stumbling over my words a lot. If that is the case, I apologize in advance. Please bear with me. The Paragons. As I studied among the dwarves, I became aware that their social system was as rigid as the stone that surrounded them. From the lowest servant to the king of Orzammar, each dwarf has a caste, a rigid social standing which dictates what he may do and how he may do it. What fascinated me then was that the dwarves, stubborn and proud as they may be, have built in a way for even the lowliest dwarf to bypass the caste system and reach prominence. Any dwarf who has made an achievement of significance can be named Paragon, elevating that dwarf above all others. To become a Paragon is to be recognised as essentially a living ancestor. Your words are considered ineffable, and the dwarves liken you unto a god. Your family, those you choose to ascend with you, become the founders of a new line of nobility. Indeed, every existing noble house among the dwarves traces its line back to a founding Paragon. It is a rare thing, however. In my visit, I learned that only one Paragon had been elected in generations. The smith, Bronca, exalted for her discovery of a smokeless coal. I met the Paragon Bronca only once during my stay, and I consider it an odd occasion indeed. Surrounded by those of her house, this ill-tempered woman was draped in the finest clothing and jewellery, and was obviously revered even above the highest nobles, perhaps above even the king. Yet she seemed to enjoy none of it. The burden of being a living legend is great, it appears. Statues of the Paragons are found throughout Orzammar, though nowhere so prominently than in the Hall of Heroes, through which one passes on entering from the surface. It is a breathtaking sight to behold, great works of stone all seeming to hold up the ceiling above. It is meant to impress upon visitors to Orzammar of all who have gone before, I think. It is also meant to remind dwarves going to the surface, and thus abandoning their brethren forever, of all they are leaving behind. From Stone Halls of the Dwarves by Brother Genetivi, Chantry Scholar. There we go. That wasn't too bad. And quest related. The key to the city. While your concerns have merit, the Assembly has made itself clear. Space within the Tig is at a premium, but the intended function of the hall merits the additional resources committed. The statues of the Paragons must be the core of the Hall of Heroes. There is no other placement that so benefits dwarven interests. It is the first glimpse that surface ambassadors have of Orzammar, an introduction not just to our living ancestors, but also to the stone from which we were born. They must see it shaped before they can understand the complexity of its raw form. The hall must also serve a second purpose, as a last sight for departing brethren. Those who choose to leave must do so with the heavy gaze of their ancestors at their backs. It is a reminder of duty and of consequence. We will promote all manner of trade, but also reinforce that those who leave for too long will return as strangers to the stone. From a report of the Assembly Zoning Commission. Okay, I do think that is something that would worry Artin, that her time on the surface may have caused her to lose her stone sense. We'll just have to see how she goes. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm so excited to be back in Orzammar. Oh, this is going to be so good.
It is the Assembly who makes a king, and a king who nominates his successor. None of it is carried in the blood.
Or, as now, when someone tries using the Assembly to pull a coup. Who's to say what my father said in his final hours, when the usurper Harrowmont was the only one by his side?
I'll have you thrown in prison.
You've bitten off more than you can chew!
Handlers, separate these dashers in the Diamond Quarter. I will not have Balin incite a riot.
You will not speak that way about the man who should be king!
Oh dear.
Fighting in the Commons, especially in front of outsiders.
I'm not an outsider. I'm home. Oh, Balin, fighting in the streets. Ooh, how unfitting of a prince.
Exile, you were not to show your face here again. I have enough crime to deal with. I shouldn't have to dump you back in the deep roads.
I have a new house, the Grey Wardens. Think before you act. I am more than I was. I'm here to help us all. That deserves respect. Oh, back having to think about politics. Oh, I love it. Not number 3. We need to show strength here. We can't be too wishy-washy. We can't be kind of like, oh, I just want to help. No, we need to be strong. We need to be... How do I put this? We really need to be like, I'm here. I will have the respect that I deserve. I have a new house. The Grey Wardens.
That's right. You found pity topside. The Wardens should have better sense when choosing allies. Surfacers and their cloud-addled heads. Fine, O illustrious Grey Warden. What do you want?
The Blight is coming and I need Orzammar's assistance. Where is Balin? I have unfinished business with him. Can a city function like this? I should get going. Not number 2. That's between Artin and Balin, and Artin's not the kind of person to try and drag other people into her conflict. He is the captain of the guard. So, I think number 1 does make sense. The Blight is coming, and I need Orzammar's assistance.
Surface problems. Well, we have no king to hear you. You can join the shouting at the Assembly in the Diamond Quarter if you want. Bunch of Desher lords bickering over sand. Balin, Harrowmont. Is one so different? No paragons here.
I should get going. Sounds like Balin and Harrowmont are the ones to talk. Artin, did you hit your head? Like on a bit of low-hanging rock while I wasn't looking? You know who Balin and Harrowmont are. Paragons, you also know what a paragon is. And can a city function like this? Artin knows that in the immediate, kind of yes. In the long term, absolutely not. So yeah, 2, 3, and 4, they're all very silly questions to ask, for Artin at least. I should get going.
Yes, you should.
Now then, let's see. Narav. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think this was the, this is Narav Helmi. And Trian was going to ask Lady Helmi's daughter for her hand in marriage. Her favorite color is turquoise, I believe he said in his journal.
You are... By the ancestors! You were exiled into the deep roads. How can you be standing here?
The Grey Wardens rescued and recruited me. I've said this before. The Grey Wardens didn't rescue Artin. Artin rescued herself, and then they escorted her out of the deep roads. Artin isn't going to have that achievement of getting to the Grey Wardens taken away from her. Narav? Narav Helmi, I was correct. Is that you? What's going on? The city's in chaos. Is Lord Harrowmont being considered for the throne? Is Balin really suspected of killing my father? Ooh. So, not number one. I like all the bottom four, to be perfectly honest. You know what, I think Artin's maybe thinking, I've been away for a very long time, could my eyes be playing tricks on me? Narav? Narav Helmi, is that you?
I should hope so. I'd be quite hurt if you didn't recognize me. After all, under different circumstances, we might have been sisters-in-law. But you were supposed to be dead. How is it you live?
I guess I have no option but to say that the Grey Wardens rescued and recruited me then. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, is that Rika's voice actor? Actress? I might be mishearing there. The Grey Wardens rescued and recruited me.
Then I hope your return is a good omen. Since your father died, many have begun to wonder if it was Balin's hand behind Trian's death, not yours. Even your father believed that. It's why he appointed Lord Harrowmont as his heir. But enough Deshers support Balin to keep the Assembly in a deadlock. You can see how bad things have gotten.
How did my father die? How many still support Balin? Does Harrowmont believe Balin killed my brother? We know that Harrowmont does. Because we were honest with him as we exited into the Deep Roads. He basically said, look me in the eyes and tell me you didn't do this. We were honest. We said, no, we didn't do this. And his response was, I believe you. That means Balin planned everything for the start. I promise you. I'll make sure he pays for this. And then he wandered off. How many support Balin is kind of irrelevant right now. I think Artin is thinking, how did her father die? So far, we've heard that he died of grief, which is an answer. It's not a particularly good answer, but how did my father die?
In his sleep. Though many whisper those are only sweet words to hide the smell of poison. May the ancestors accept the king among their blessed number.
That's enough. I must go deal with this now. How much support does Balin have? Who has authority to defend against the blight? Right now, no one has the authority to defend against a blight because that's all tied up in the Assembly, and the Assembly is currently stuck in infighting. No one has that authority currently. Harrowmont is probably in his estate. Balin is probably in his estate. And they're both probably plotting. I know I just said how much support does Balin have was kind of it wasn't a consequential question. But out of the others, that's the one I like the best. How much support does Balin have?
Exactly half the Assembly. But as you know, that means his numbers are dropping.
Ooh. Once the Assembly wished me to rule, and Artin did not approve of that, so she would not bring that up. Where is Balin now?
He still lives in the king's quarters, pretending your father never repudiated him. He seems to think if he's close to the throne long enough, we'll forget he has no right to claim it.
Oh, Balin. That's enough. I must go deal with this now.
I am glad to see you're safe. If you seek Lord Harrowmont's support, talk to Dulin Ferender. You'll find him in Harrowmont's estate. Tell him who you are, and I'm sure he can get you an audience. I should return home until the streets become safe again.
No. It was good to see Narav again. We didn't actually see her in the origin story, but I imagine that Artin would know who this person is. She's the daughter of one of the prominent heads of the noble houses, so I imagine Artin and Narav are quite friendly. Now, while I remember...
Something I can help with?
What do you know of this place?
Vast holes carved from the stone of the mountain, lined with the chiseled marble figures of paragons, so fine as to mirror life itself. Soaring ceilings grand enough to make any man forget the sky and the sun, and to question the reason for their existence. I have heard of these things and more, but none prepared me for what I have seen here. It is marvelous.
Oh, okay. I was hoping for a different conversation, but let's talk about something else.
Something I can help with?
I'd like to talk to you about something.
Yes? What's on your mind?
Nothing, never mind. Again, not what I was hoping for, but we will just hopefully we get the conversation up after at some point. Ooh, a signpost. Diamond Quarter right, proving grounds straight ahead. Yes, we know this.
Wow. So this is Orzammar. It's huge.
Yes, it is. Don't question why the dwarves have such high ceilings. Don't question that.
Why are you smiling like that? You look suspiciously like the cat that swallowed the pigeon.
Canary.
What?
I look like the cat that swallowed the canary.
I once had a very large cat, but not my point. My point is, why are you smirking?
You were watching her with great interest, I might add. In fact, I believe you were enraptured.
She's our leader. I look to her for guidance.
Oh, I see. So what guidance did you find in those swaying hips? Hmm?
No. I wasn't looking at, her hind quarters.
Certainly.
I glanced in that direction, maybe, but I wasn't staring. Or really seeing anything, even.
Of course.
I hate you. You're a bad person.
I love that banter. Oh, God. Excuse me, this document. On dwarven propriety? Yes, that's the hall. Pursuant to Order 5-1A, no dwarf of indeterminate caste may conduct business in the Commons. This was subsequently clarified by the Assembly to mean that the owning and operating of stores or kiosks is limited to those of identified and approved house names with traceable ancestor lineage of at least 3 generations. Exceptions include individual purchases of goods or services from established stores or kiosks, provided the funds are presented at the opening of the transaction, at the discretion of the stall or kiosk owner. I'm sure you understand the need to maintain strict quality control over all goods and services that flow through Orzammar, especially when we are making a concerted effort to encourage outside investment. The standards of Dusttown and that of the common brand are simply not sufficient. Your trade permit is hereby denied. From a judgment of the Assembly Trade Council regarding Mydal's reclaimed wares. Okay. Now then, I'm thinking I want to look around the commons before going up to the Diamond Quarter. Filda.
Ancestors, guard my son, for he is lost in darkness. Mothers, keep him safe, for you know what it is to mourn. I'm sorry. Did you have an offering for the ancestors? I can move aside. I don't have much to bring them.
Who are you? What were you praying for? Did I hear you mention your son? Sorry, I was just leaving. Did I hear you mention your son?
My name is Filda, widow of Turok of the Smith caste. I pray here every day for my son, Ruck. I only wish I knew whether I should be asking for his safe return or for the ancestors to accept his soul.
What happened to him? Safe return. Your son is missing. I'll leave you with your grief. Safe return. Your son is missing?
It was 5 years ago. He was only a youngster. He joined a Deep Roads excursion, the only smith to go with the warriors to repair their arms. He was so proud, but he got separated somehow. When they came home, he wasn't with them.
Do you want me to look for him? Did anyone go after him? Then he's almost certainly dead. I'll leave you alone with your grief. I don't think anyone would have gone after him, and I think Artin would know that. Sending a squadron of soldiers into the Deep Roads to look for one smith it's not going to happen. That simply wouldn't happen. He's, as sad as it is to say, he's too low a caste. For a noble's son or daughter, maybe. But for some random smith caste boy, absolutely not. And we probably will be going into the Deep Roads at some point, so I think Artin, if Filda told us the Tig that her son Rook was, exploring with these soldiers, then I don't think Artin would be too opposed to, seeing if she could find either him or his body, if we were in the area. Do you want me to look for him?
How? There is no way except to brave the Deep Roads yourself.
I'm a Grey Warden, that's what I do. I didn't say I'd do it for free. You're right, that is too much to ask. Yeah, we're a Grey Warden. We should. It would probably be good of us to go and take out some Darkspawn. I'm a Grey Warden. That's what we do.
A warden? So you could do it. Only wardens face the Deep Roads without a company backing them. Oh, thank you. The ancestors finally heed my prayers.
Take heart, good Widow Filda. We'll do our best.
Please, find me as soon as you return.
So, the vast majority of quests Artin accepts, she doesn't do things out of the goodness of her heart. She does things because she's a very practical person, and this will get her towards her end goal. She helped out the Dalish because she wanted to make a good impression, because these people were going to be fighting for her in the war, and she wanted to get on their good side so that they'd agree to help. She didn't do it to be kind. And as I mentioned, we'll probably be going into the Deep Roads to kill some Darkspawn, so if Filda's son's, if he's either near a Tig that we're going to, or his body is near a Tig that we'd be going to, there's really no harm in looking. But I think also, these are her people. And she loves her people. She loves Orzammar. And this is one of the few times where I think she would kind of be like, I'm gonna offer my help here. I'm not gonna wait to be asked. I'm gonna offer my help because one of my people is suffering. And I don't want to see that. Now then. Brother Burkle.
What is that spell?
Oh.
Dwarven vomit. Charming.
Yeah, that's Tapsters. Tapsters has always been like that.
Maker's blessing on you, sister.
Why are you invoking a human god? May his divine spirit always light your way. Not very religious. Sorry. This would be a weird sight for Artin. This would be an extremely weird sight for Artin. Why are you invoking a human god?
The Maker brought forth this world and every creature in it. He chose a human woman as his prophet and bride, but he loves all races. I'm Brother Burkle of the Red Cliff Chantry, returned to my ancestors' land to spread the chant of light. I'm petitioning to open a chantry in Orzammar.
Whose permission do you need to open a chantry? Why would we want a human chantry in Orzammar? Well, good luck with that. Let me know how it turns out. I will not help spread your lies. I've mentioned this before. Artin doesn't have a problem with the Chantry when it's on the surface, because that's part of their culture. But Orzammar has its own culture, and I've mentioned this before. I don't think Artin knows the intricacies of the Chant of Light. I imagine she knows what has been revealed in the Codex entries. So she knows that the elves were given the Dales, they didn't want to worship the Maker, and then the Chantry was like, right, we're gonna invade because you don't want to do what we think you should be doing. So there's problem number 1. 2, I think Artin would just be like, hold up, why is that coming down here? We don't need that. No thank you. We have our own culture, we have our own identity, we have our own worship. Don't be trying to step in on that. Why would we want a human chantry in Orzammar?
There is resistance. It's obvious the world wasn't created by the mortal souls who dwelt within it. Yet the dwarves of Orzammar persist in worshipping their own forefathers.
Whose permission do you need to open a chantry? It's tradition, it's what we are. Well, good luck with that. Let me know how it turns out. Yeah, this... I think Artin would also be saying, yeah, it wasn't built by mortal hands. The world was built by the stone. We come from the stone. Don't be... Like, if you're gonna shit on my beliefs, I'm gonna shit on yours, sir. And he said that line, yet the dwarves of Orzammar persist in worshipping their own forefathers. He said that like, there was an audible eye roll there. I swear down there was an audible eye roll. It's tradition. It's what we are.
Will you allow tradition to keep you from the path of enlightenment?
You think you can show everyone the way? Presumption. Yeah, Artin. Who are you to say what the path to enlightenment is? You think you can show everyone the way? Presumptuous fool.
Andraste revealed the truth. The Maker took her up to live at his right hand and... No, never mind. It's clear you strayed too far to be brought back with a single conversation.
Brought back? Brought back from where? The chant in the deeps, Brother Burkle was unable to start a chantry in Orzammar, as it should be. The chantries should remain topside. No thank you. They can't come down here. I have an Olegnar.
Sod it all, the exile. Never thought I'd see your face in the Commons. Never thought I'd be glad to either. But this can only help Balin. Whether he forgives you or you scare people, it's another crack in the old way.
Let me see what you have in your store. You're very eager to support my brother. Never mind, I should get going. Yeah, Artin wouldn't have brought up Balin to this guy, but the fact that he's being like, oh, well, Balin could forgive you and that'll promote him, or you could scare people and that'll promote him. Like, I think Artin would be very intrigued in this guy, about this guy's way of thinking. You're very eager to support my brother.
He has the legitimate claim, thanks to your failed grab. You abused the old ways, and now he has a chance to change them. I see where the gold is. It flows topside. Balin will guide us to adopt a new way. Of course, he can't come out and say that.
Let me see what you have in your store. Some say Balin killed our father. You approve of this chaos. Never mind, I should get going. Yeah, I think that was one of... How do I put this? One of the biggest things that stopped Artin. She's a diplomat. That's what she is. She was very vocal about how much she wanted change and more rights for the casteless, more ties with the surface. But at the same time, she is a diplomat. And she acknowledges that that kind of change is going to be bloody. It's going to be chaotic. And Artin can't have that. Artin likes Orzammar to be stable. So she wants change that she would never really be able to fulfill. Am I making myself clear? I'm not entirely sure. She doesn't approve of chaos, but she acknowledges that the changes that need to be made would be chaotic, but she's too much of a diplomat to take that step. You approve of this chaos?
Can't find ore without splitting some stone. My investments are solid, I'll be fine. The Assembly has done us a favor. They've shown just how loose the sand is under our feet. It opens people to change.
A blight is coming. Orzammar can't be divided.
Orzammar will decide what we can or can't be. Blight may be imminent on the surface, but our warriors are well seasoned against dark spawn. There will be topsiders left for trade. There's no end to them.
I think, to be honest, I think this guy's just self-interested. His entire thing is like, oh, well, my investments are fine. Oh, there's a blight on the surface, but that means we're free to do whatever we want. Yeah, where do you think the Darkspawn are going to go when they've killed the surfacers? They're going to come back to Orzammar, and they're going to be an even larger army. That's what Artin wants to prevent. To be perfectly honest, if the Darkspawn destroyed the surface, she really doesn't care. It's the fact that after they've done that, they'll come back to Orzammar. Let me see what you have in your store.
I'll take your gold. You're good for that.
Ooh. I noticed something nice in other, but let's see, what do we have here? Oh, gifts! Lots of gifts! Okay, well, we want this. Ali King's flagon. I can't remember if the silver demon head ring is just like the gold earrings are like a miscellaneous gift. You can give that to anyone and you'll get like a +1 or +2. I'll take that. I'm up for that. Fear of blood magic has stigmatized academic dissection, but dedicated scribes keep anatomical works from disappearing. This book allows training that modestly increases the reader's base attributes. Yeah, I'll have that. And there's nothing really in here that I need. Is there anything I have to sell? No. Okay, that's good. Now then. Yoink. Modestly increases base stats +1. Oh god. I'll up my strength. Okay, now I am just about out of time for this episode. In the next, we'll probably go to the bar, probably, most likely. But until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Callista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.